Germany has announced a fresh stimulus package to help consumers cope with the nation's cost of living crisis. The $65 billion measure includes tax breaks for energy firms so they can pass on the savings to households and businesses. There'll also be cash handouts to students and pensioners. And Berlin's expanding public transport operations so commuters can have more alternatives to driving. It follows Russia's announcement that it's keeping the Nord Stream pipeline to Germany closed. Europe's largest economy relies on that infrastructure for the natural gas that it uses to heat homes and power factories. Amid the rising cost of energy, inflation in Germany reached 7.9% in August. Analysts expect that number to reach a 70-year high of 10% before the end of the year.
The third relief package we put together is bigger than the first two combined. It is of a large dimension. We are talking about 65 billion euros. When you add everything together, we are talking about 95 billion, if you include the first two relief packages. That's a lot we are doing, and it's necessary.
Now let's go to Peter Oliver, who's following the story for us in Berlin. Peter, welcome back to the program. So what has Berlin said about Russia's decision, and what is the Kremlin saying about gas shipments to one of its most important customers?
Right. Well, from the Russian side, what they're saying is that they can't get the gas flowing because of the sanctions that Germany, amongst other European nations, have put in place upon them. They say that the maintenance work that had supposed to have been finished, had supposed to have been carried out and finished by Saturday, that would have allowed gas to flow, that couldn't be sorted out and done because of those sanctions. Now, that hasn't really gone down very well with the German side and with the European side. They've pointed out that the turbine in particular, there's one particular turbine at the crux of a lot of the arguments, was repaired. It was in Canada for repairs, that there were special dispensations made in order that that could be repaired and sent to Germany. And it's currently sitting in Mülheim an der Ruhr, in the Siemens factory there, waiting to be shipped to Russia, where it can be put into the place it needs to be in the piping system and allowing it to set away transportation of gas. However, from the Russian side, they say documentation isn't there that won't allow that to happen. Now, as I mentioned, the German side, they dispute this. What we've seen over the weekend was Russia say they weren't going to be restarting the flow of gas. They've pointed to an oil leak. They sent out pictures we saw on the Telegram social media network showing this oil leak. There's been backwards and forwards between the German side and the Russian side saying that particular type of oil leak wasn't something that would require an engineer to come out and go and have a look at it. It also wouldn't be something that would be covered, essentially. If you think of it like your household cover that you would have from a manufacturer, that it wasn't something that would be covered by the manufacturer themselves. It's going on backwards and forwards between the two sides at the moment. The Russians say that they need the Europeans to lift the sanctions in order to allow the flow of gas to resume. The Germans and the Europeans say that the Russians are playing games when it comes to gas in order to try and get those sanctions lifted.
All right. Peter Oliver in Berlin, thank you for that update.